Loneliness is the major key to pornography. The way you develop it is same way you curb it. When you're addicted to a particular thing, definitely it will affect your communication skills. Most especially people that are addicted to pornography. For every single addiction, there is a consequence behind it. To control an addiction, you need to understand that addiction is an habit that you allow. It is you that nurtures such habit. The key word there is discipline. Make sure you discipline yourself. Habits are 100% contagious and they are created. There is a communalism relationship that you have with somebody that before you know you start picking up their manners. What you capture is what you picture. What you picture is what you nurture. What you nurture is what you picture. And what you picture becomes your nature. Addiction today has become an easy route to escape, to enjoy satisfaction among the young fellows in this generation. And we could see that addiction has done a lot of harm to this generation because you tend to find little pleasure to whatever you're addicted to. And when we look at the word addiction, it means a dependence on something even when it is harmful. And when we look at today, according to me, there are a lot of young Nigerians, 80% of young Nigerians has been accredited to engage in drugs. And we could see the effect of that in our economy. Addiction, as it is in its nature, has affected relationship among people because when you're addicted to a particular thing, definitely it will affect your communication skill. Most especially people that are addicted to pornography, you discover that you find yourself. That's where I call something 4 C's of addiction, which is craving, compulsion, loss of control, and consequences. When you crave, because addiction comes from craving, you crave for a particular thing, then graduated to compulsion, and then immediately you have that urge, that surge in you that cannot be resisted. Then you lose your control, which definitely has consequences. For instance, there was a time I was addicted to pornography, and I could see because it definitely affects my day in, day out communication with people, my reaction, my interaction with people, because there is no how when you have that surge, when you have that irresistible desire for a particular thing, and you tend to just get satisfied at that moment, because what you are looking for at that moment is the satisfaction, the current satisfaction. And for that, definitely for every single addiction, there is a consequence behind it. That's why you find yourself when you are into pornography, when you finish pornography, the consequences is that you feel guilty of what you have done. You are not bold enough because it affects you mentally. It affects your intellect. There are many things that cause addiction, but out of it, few of it is environment, peer pressure, environment, because many people tend to get addicted to certain things because of the gathering, the social gathering they tend to find themselves. Imagine somebody growing up in I'm not saying it is based on what we people see the society to be. Imagine growing up in Ajegunle, Mushin area. You can imagine what kind of behavior, what kind of things you get addicted to. Many people you find today getting addicted to drugs, you see that the environment they grew up from, the environment they come out from, actually play a major role in whatever they do. I do tell people something because there's something you need to know first to control an addiction. You need to understand that addiction is an habit, and then habit is something you develop, because you develop habits, and you developing habits, there is a way you develop it. The same route you develop habit, that's the same way you curb the habit. You curb an habit. Yes, you started smoking because of peer pressure from Oris or Bohem, You started from Maurice Boehm, graduated to Loud, graduated to Colos, all those things. That is, before you get addicted to that, you couldn't do anything without getting. That is the same way you put yourself in self-denial. The major key is self-denial. That is discipline. You discipline yourself. There's a self-denial to the addiction. If you are addicted to pornography, you find yourself a way of being lonely, because loneliness is the major key, major tool to pornography. Immediately you are lonely, definitely you engage. There is that surge will arouse in you again that you will not be able to resist. But make sure you find yourself doing something. Never be idle. Find yourself doing something. Occupy your heart, occupy your mind with a lot of positive thinking. A lot of positive thinking, so that you will not have a room to even think of that addiction. And when I say you should not be idle, it means you get yourself engaged in many things. Basically what you work on is your heart, your mind, because God has actually given us something. Because when God created man, He said He created man in His own image and likeness. Yes, we know. It does not mean my facial is what God looks like. No, it is my inner mind, which is in that creation. God has given us something we call will and choice. He has given us will and choice, which means you can decide, you can make decision on yourself. You can make decision by yourself that this is what it is. By the time you make an affirmative decision that this is it, this is what I want to do. The key word there is discipline. Make sure you discipline yourself. Stay away from things that will pop out those thinkings of your addiction. Things that are closely related to your addiction. The fact that addiction is an habit. We should know that it is 100% contagious and created. Because among peer pressure, when we have peer pressure, definitely you can contact whatever your friends are doing. You definitely contact, because there is an attitude of relationship. There is a communalism relationship that you have with somebody that before you know you start picking up their manners. So that's why a Yoruba adage says Adiyetubaba Ajani Ajegbe, because there is no how you work with dogs that you will not end up eating shit. Yes, you definitely feed on feces, because that is what they do. That is who you are. Because show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. If you want to run fast, you mingle with cheetah. If you want to soar higher, you mingle with eagles. You don't play with birds that flocks around. So habits are 100% contagious, and they are created. They are created because it is an habit. It is you that you created it, because addiction is an habit. It is something you develop. You gave it a room. You allowed it. You nurtured it. Because one of my teachers always say something. He said, "What you capture is what you picture. What you picture is what you nurture. What you nurture is what you picture, and what you picture becomes your nature." Because it is an habit. Addiction is an habit that you are allowed. It is you that nurtures such habit that grows in you, which turns to habit, which turns to addiction. So the habit can be curbed, can be stopped. The way you develop it is the same way you curb it. Do you see addiction to be born, created, or contagious? Do well to drop your opinion in the comment section. See you in my next video.